Hey guys, it's Stormboy13. Every now and again I will do a different kind of weapon video, just to keep the variation going. So today, we are just going to be quickly discussing, with what will happen with the global weather. I know I've mentioned it quite a few times in my life. Well, the hunger levels will be rising due to extreme weather, the UN has warned today. So we know loads of times progress made in the past climate has been reversed, with climate extremes such as droughts and floods obviously identified as the main cause. Global hunger has reverted to levels last seen a decade ago, as we know, wiping out progress on improving people's access to food and leaving just over 10%, 1 in 9 people, undernourished last year, with extreme weather a leading cause, the UN has warned. So hunger, which is the most common, extreme of climate change, has afflicted 821 million people last year. The third annual rise since 2015, with most regions of Africa, much of South America, showing worsening signs of food shortages and malnutrition. More than 500 million of the world's hungry live in Asia. The reversal of progress, we know, made us in slowing malnutrition in the first half of this decade. So it's caused serious concern among international agencies. So climate shocks such as droughts, floods, were both identified by the UN as among the key drivers for the rise in 2017, along with conflicts and economic slowdowns. So nearly 100 million people were left dependent on humanitarian and during the year. So the UN report covers last year and does not take account of 2018's extreme weather, which has brought heat waves and high temperatures to much of the northern hemisphere, accompanied by droughts in some parts of the globe and floods in others. However, the changing climatic trends are likely to spell trouble for years ahead. So, Robin Willoughby, head of food and climate policy at Oxfam GB, said the last few months were likely to have made the situation even worse, and called on governments to commit funds to help poor countries adapt to the effects of global warming. The extreme weather we have seen this year is likely to have exacerbated the crisis. A hotter world is proving to be a hungrier world. So, according to the reports, there are more underhoused people in areas of the world that are highly exposed to climate change, or extremes of climate. So the authors note there have been more frequent spells of extreme heat in the last 5 years, and the nature of rainfall is changing in some areas, with rainy seasons starting earlier or later. Stable crops such as wheat, rice and maize are particularly at risk from climate extremes. It is shocking that after a prolonged decline, this is the third consecutive year of rising hunger, said Willoughby. So the indescribable fact is that climate change is now leaving people around the world without much food to eat. So adapting to climate change can be a matter of switching to less thirsty crops in some areas, and selectively breeding varieties for drought resistant, or devising crops and using natural methods to make the best use of rainfall. So giving farmers access to transport to take their produce to market and modern technology such as weather forecasting, communications can also help. So the UN State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2018 report, released on Tuesday, is the joint work of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, the International Fund for Agriculture Development, UNICEF, the World Food Programme and the World Health Organization. So the heads of the agencies combined to warn of the worsening future. If action is not taken to help people to adapt to climate change, if we are to achieve a world without hunger and mutilation in all its forms by 2030, as a Sustainable Development Goal state, it is imperative that we accelerate and scale up actions to strengthen the resilience and adaptive capacity of food systems and people's likelihood in response to climate variability and extremes. They wrote in the foreword to the report. So Cindy Holloman, a senior economist at FAO and editor of the reports, said that what is alarming about this analysis is that climate variability and climate extremes are contributing to the rise in hunger. Not just emergency levels of hunger, but chronic hunger. So we see this report as an early warning call that we need to accelerate and scale up climate in resilience, especially in countries in Africa and Latin America that are most vulnerable. She also added this is the beginning of a very serious situation. We have a target of end hunger by 2030, and we are not going to do that unless we are going to tackle new challenges, and the new challenges are climate extremes and variability. So the analysts also showed that 1 in 8 of the world's adults, 672 million people, are now obese. So this is increasingly regarded as a form of malnutrition associated with poverty, as poor people often lack access to good quality food. So other effects of malnutrition noted including 151 million children under 5 too short for their age growing owing to malnutrition, a fall from the 165 million according to 2012, with Asia again accounting for 55% of the total. So 1 in 3 women of reproductive age around the world have anemia, which can also affect the development of their children. 40% of babies are breastfed exclusively to 6 months. Sorry this video may sound boring for some of you, but for some of you who are very familiar with climate change, I had to kind of just bring an update with this global warming madness. And you know, by 2030 there will be extreme hunger, you know, affecting millions across Asia, in Latin America, as we know. We don't know what the concept of the weather that will bring, you know, with the amount of droughts, amount of floods. The Asia is a huge continent, and of course Latin America might not be as big, but still pretty big regardless. So we know we need to keep an eye on the weather, you know. I always want to keep an update on whatever the future weather will bring, you know. We always hope that Asians aren't always going to board the brunt with this challenging kind of climate change. So anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe for more videos. The weekly weather, UK weekly weather, will be up hopefully tomorrow. Well, this was filmed Wednesday, so hopefully it'll be up Thursday. Alright, see you soon guys. Want any more videos? Just request below as always, and check out my recent holiday video. Eventually I will stop mentioning it, so anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Storm's now out.